Good evening and welcome back to Fecal Matters, a show where we talk about dumb shit. I am your host, JLock TV, and your co-host over here from the Coney Corner, we've got Skittles. Skittles, how's your week been, man?
I had a wonderful weekend.
Did
Went
you?
back out to I went back out to the stockyards. Took
Yeah?
my old spot back because we got tired of Pogues because they don't want to buy stuff, so I'm not gonna set up for them.
Oh
You
shit,
know,
what do you mean they don't want to buy stuff? I thought you were doing
well,
really
it's
well
just
over
like
there.
the numbers have just been steadily dropping and it's just been you know hitting lows. So
Well, I
went back out to
mean,
the stockyards.
that's kind of how it works, and I think we've had this conversation, you and I, before. I don't know if it was on stream or not, that you got to watch out for, at the end of the day, you're selling a fairly consistent recipe, which is not bad, but also it's the same thing they ate every time, and it's not exactly Taco Bell cheap. So
Yeah,
you're not
which is
exactly going to
fair.
hold a customer base enthralled as heavily as you would want at that rate. But yeah, I think you're having a good run at it still.
But yeah, no, that's why I went back out to the stockyards because I always get new people out in the stockyards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big touristy area. People go to the hotel and they come in from out of town. I met some people from Canada. They were going down to Waco.
Hey,
Uh,
I just want to point out that it looks like your microphone is turned the incorrect way.
Is that better?
Maybe don't scream into it, but yes, it is better. Like just talk normally, Just
Oh.
there you go. Now you don't sound so like echoey because you're not bouncing all your sound off the back wall. You should adjust the volume knob on it. You should adjust it down just
All the
very
way up,
slightly.
right?
No, down just very
No,
slightly.
it's pretty much down as low as it goes without it actually shutting off.
Okay,
So I'll
okay.
just move this
Yeah,
further away
it's
like
okay.
this.
I'll reach over here and just adjust your volume just a
Just
smidge.
turn me down.
Just turn you down just a knuckle.
Turn it down to 0.
I'm thinking about it. Fuck, you're being loud. No, probably around 100%. Should be
but
good. All right, cool.
but yeah, no. Stockyards have been good to me. I had a Christmas parade
Yep.
in White Settlement, and I actually had the best day I've ever had, so
Really?
far in the business.
How much did you clean up?
So 1,700 for the whole day.
Oh wow.
I sold out though. Like if I had more hot dogs, I would have done more.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, dude. Well, that's what you gotta
So,
do, though. Is you gotta hit these events that don't have a lot of food at them and just take advantage.
well, I mean, there was other food there.
Right. I
It's
said a
just that
lot of food.
I mean, there was other good food there.
Okay, but was it affordable good food?
Yes, it
I
was
was gonna
cheaper
say
than my
because I've
stuff.
been to a lot of places where they're serving like $15 plates out of a truck, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah, I mean, like
somebody
the
here's got
truck that was
tacos. Somebody
the,
here's
the
got
truck that was right
tacos.
next to me. It was a Laotian truck, and they were selling see what were they selling? They were selling pot stickers for like $8 for 4 of them,
I mean, that's
which is
pretty
absurd.
expensive.
That's absurd
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. That would
for an
definitely turn.
appetizer.
That would definitely
Heck
turn me
no.
down just a little bit.
Yeah,
So
but
recently, so recently, it was really funny. Recently, I don't know if you were seeing the news where they were interviewing Elon, and Elon was talking about. I know this probably isn't the first time somebody's heard of this if they're watching this live right now, but I thought it was really fucking funny. Like
go f
that
yourself.
is a man of the people right there. He looked straight at the lady and said, "Oh no, if they want to pull their advertisements and try to hold me in thrall and hold me in blackmail, then go fuck yourself." And she's like, "Oh,
Are you
she's
sure
like,
you can say that on live TV?
well, that's not what she said, but I can't remember exactly what she said, but she's kind of like, "Are you sure that's the message you want to put out there?" He says, "Okay, let me make it clear." And he looks straight at the camera. If you don't want to advertise on Twitter because you don't like that we're willing to let people speak, go fuck yourself. And it was like, man, a man of the people for real.
Great guy.
Well,
Love him.
the thing is, like, I try not to get too political on this channel, but realistically, like, if you watch Tim Pool or any of them, they talk about it in pretty great detail of how locked down Twitter actually was. He was
Oh yeah.
bad. It was bad,
Yeah,
bad how
the
locked up it was. You could not speak your words. You could not say what you wanted to say. They would shut you down.
yeah, and when Elon took over, he showed that there was proof of election interference.
Even the election interference isn't really the point
Like,
here, but they were silencing voices on a
oh yeah,
regular basis. It's supposed to be this open forum, share your thoughts kind of place, but that wasn't happening. That wasn't happening at all. They were shutting down free speech. It wasn't even
yeah.
just the election interference. You know, Tim Pool is a relatively liberal leaning person, and he always has been. He used to be like anti-gun and stuff. He's since matured enough to try a gun and realize how safe they actually are. But like, he even talked to her. He says it's really funny. Like I already did well on Twitter in general, but then after Elon took over and organic migration began again, he says I almost doubled or tripled my follower count on Twitter, and it was like
Yeah.
fuck, because again they were out of their way to silence him and to not let his rhetoric spread per se.
I mean, there's some of his rhetoric where I wish he would just, stop saying as often, just because I think it doesn't really help anything. Because
Right.
his line, you know what this means? Civil War.
Yeah. I mean, but he's not really wrong. Like
I mean, he's not wrong, but just like it's such a hyperbole, and
if you do
it's so
okay, it's
banal
not
at
it's
this
not
point.
hyperbole though. If you do not think that at the upper levels of government, if you do not think that the upper levels of government and the upper echelon of the middle and wealthy class does not currently exist in a state of civil war, I don't know what you think is happening. I really
Oh
don't.
no, I mean, yes, there is a civil war, and it's
It,
and
it's
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 a
not.
cold civil
Yeah,
war.
exactly. It's closer to the Cold War than an active armed combat war, but it's very much a war. It's a war for control of government. It's a war for control of people. Like, I try not. Again, I really do try not to get political, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's becoming this situation that's slowly but surely taking over everything in this country. Like, part of the reason we opened this podcast was because we just wanted to have open and honest, like unbiased, unstupid conversations. Well, stupid as we want, actually. Conversations
Yeah, I
about
mean, you
whatever.
say unstupid, and I'm just sitting here thinking. First of all, that's not a word. Second of all, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah,
You're not my
basically.
real dad.
Oh, I don't want to be your real dad. That man looks like a fucking ape. But like, saying shit like that, right? That shit could get me banned. That just being a shit to you, a willing host of this bullshit, could get me banned. And that's unreal to me because this is how I've been speaking to people my entire life. Do I have the friends to prove it? Yes. Uh, like it is not a long list of people that choose to spend all their time with me, but at the same time, like it should be my choice to speak that way. Government has taken way too much of an active step to police people and speech and conversations and what we're allowed to do and where we're allowed to go and what we're allowed to say and where we're allowed to fucking bear arms. And at the same time, all of it is like, why did you need to be involved? Like, socially speaking, most people will socially oust each other before the government ever needs to step in.
Yeah.
It's a really common
Which
practice,
actually,
actually.
I mean, I guess it depends on who, well, which community we're talking about here, because I'm not gonna mention specific communities, but there is definitely some cultures of don't snitch.
Oh,
Snitches get
absolutely.
stitches,
I mean, that's
which
not
is like,
just that's not just a culturally present thing in just one area. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm like not trying to necessarily put color as the basis here, even though it clearly is. Like, I'm white. I still don't think it's okay to snitch. Being a snitch is one of the stupidest fucking things you can do. The only time you should be snitching is if whatever somebody is doing is endangering somebody else. If they want to
which
put themselves in harm's way, fucking all power to you. Go get hurt, dumb fuck. But if you start bringing
which
other people in,
yeah.
that's a different conversation. Like, don't fucking put my family in the crossfire. Don't put my people in the crossfire. That's when you get
Well, I mean,
snitched on.
let me tell you a story of when I was a snitch, because I actually was a legit snitch for a good reason. I'm going to say it's for a good reason because I believe it was for a good reason.
Okay,
All
Whitey,
right.
what's up?
Okay, so you know what drum corps is, right? Marching band
Sure.
on drugs. Yeah. So one of the rules was no drinking on tour, no alcohol on tour, because most of the people were under the age of 21.
Sure.
So, underage drinking, it still happened, but it got to a point where people were blacking out on the tour bus and people were vomiting, and it was raising a lot, like way too much suspicion, and it was about to, you know,
So basically, they were fucking the party up.
yes,
See, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's not snitching. Some idiots would call that snitching. That's not snitching. Somebody that's being so obnoxious while doing something they're not supposed to be with everybody else that's not supposed to be doing it, that it's actually a problem for everybody that's doing it. That's not snitching. That's handling a problem.
yeah, like yeah, especially since you have the 21-year-olds giving alcohol to 17-year-olds. That's a felony, first of all.
I mean, okay, but when I was in the military, I was constantly getting all my liquor
Sure,
from people that were older than me.
sure,
When I was in high school, I was getting my liquor from people that were older than me. I mean, you're not going to stop people from drinking. However, if somebody is a problem, as in their drinking is starting to affect the space around them, no matter what age they are, because we've both known our fair share of adults that have serious problems with alcohol. Um, family people of ours included. And the reality is, there's a point where you have to step in and say something. That's not snitching. Even if it was to the point where it's like, dude, if you can't get this under control, I have to bring the cops in on this and have you removed forcefully because it's becoming a problem and you need help. That's a different conversation. Or, dude, you're literally doing stuff that's going to get everyone. Because what was it? That dude that you were renting to briefly. What's his name? I can't think of his fucking
Oh,
name.
John.
No, not John. He was bad. He was bad, but he was bad in his
Oh,
own way.
RJ.
Yeah, RJ. Like,
RJ was a problem. Yeah.
because RJ, like, we would
He,
all sit
he,
around, like you wouldn't drink, but I would drink with Pup. So Pup and Mike and I would sit around and get drunk, and RJ would want to join in. So first few times it was like, okay, cool, yeah, come have a few beers with us. It was never a few with RJ. I mean, it was never a few with some of us, but it was never a few with RJ. RJ was always a menace. He was always out of control. He didn't like you, so he'd get drunk and he'd get mean. God, I thought we were gonna have to kill him that one day. I
yeah,
really
no,
thought,
storming up and down the hallway, just shouting how he's gonna try to bust my face in.
yeah.
You know.
I remember having to walk out of my room, coming down the hallway, grab him, and say, "You need to go the fuck to sleep before I have something to say about it." Because it was getting to the point where it's like, okay, now you're threatening people I like with physical violence. God, we had to pull him aside and talk to him the
Sure.
next day about it
Yeah.
because it was like, no, we're not doing this shit. You got a problem, you need to deal with it like a fucking mature, responsible person. You don't walk around threatening motherfuckers up in this house.
And it all came down to just like me saying, "Look, you don't get to say to you don't get to say that you want to beat someone's head in just because I asked you to be very discreet when it comes to your to at least illicit substance use, because
Right, right, right.
I don't want to know about it. If you're gonna
Right,
do it, fine. I'm not gonna stop you, but I don't want to know about
right.
it.
It's still Texas. At the end of the day, it's still Texas, and you don't need to be so loud, and you don't need to be leaving shit sitting around, and like, I mean, let's be honest. Pot should be legal nationwide. I still stand by that. Like, pot is generally speaking less destructive than alcohol. Is generally speaking less addictive than alcohol. Is generally speaking pretty much a chill out, sit on the couch and eat Cheetos kind of
Yeah.
fucking drug. It should be legal. There's no valid reason why it needs to be this hyper controlled substance. It still is in some states.
Yeah. It
I'm
makes
not
people more is placid the right word? I think placid is the right word.
placid's a good word. Placid's a good word for it. But that's exactly it, right? Is people just need to learn to regulate themselves better. And that was the problem with RJ is he wasn't regulating himself. It's still illegal in Texas, and while all of us were plenty happy to turn a blind eye, because shit, Courtney smoked. We knew. Courtney smoked. Courtney smokes now. I don't smoke. It's not my thing. But like, it's a perfectly legal thing to do where we're at now. But in Texas, it was just like one of those things where it's like we don't leave that shit sitting around. We put our stuff away. We keep it hidden.
We don't talk about the 3-pound bag in the freezer.
We don't talk about the 3 pound bag in the freezer because there's things that we have, and I mean they could try to use this as evidence at this point. It ain't gonna matter. It ain't there. You ain't gonna find it because it's gone. Shit's
It's
long
hearsay, Your
gone.
Honor. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
literally as hearsay as it is. It's hearsay until you can produce evidence.
We
that
didn't
it's
say what was
actually
in the bag. We said that there was a bag.
It was a gross exaggeration, Your Honor. Nobody actually admitted to having a actual 3 pound bag. How can you
it's
prove?
like
Do you know how much 3 pounds of weed is? That could never have gone missing without somebody knowing. Just saying. Just saying.
just saying.
But also the fact that somebody managed to smoke it in 3 fucking days is crazy. I couldn't even imagine. That shit was tough. That shit was tough. I smoked it one time. That shit is tough. That is not something you smoke every day.
Call me Jared Kushner because I smoked that shit.
Jesus
No.
Christ. Like, yeah, no, that was crazy that
No.
people were smoking that as quick as they were.
I didn't actually smoke anything. I've never smoked anything.
The amount of times I've sold marijuana to bosses. The number of chefs I have sold my shit to before.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know if you met John ever.
I'm not sure.
Short John that worked at the hospital.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I know you sold some to one of my coworkers.
I sold some to one of your coworkers. I sold some to John. Like, and I was just like, hey, it doesn't have fentanyl in it. That's the key here. The key is it's clean, unlike the bullshit you can get on the street. So I was happy to produce. I was trying to sell it bulk to a dealer, but that motherfucker was like, man, I don't know your
I don't want to
weed.
touch this.
Yeah, I don't know your weed. I don't know which this is. I don't know you. Okay, whatever. Sell me something else then. So, anyways. But yeah.
I get that joke.
Everybody gets that joke. That's why it's funny. But yeah, nah.
Speaking of, I actually have a whole bunch of coke in my trunk right now.
That's not the same. This and that are not what we were talking about. Your coke is dark. Your coke looks more like heroin.
It's definitely from Mexico. I'll say that.
It's Mexican dark coke. Oh God, I love Mexican Coca-Cola. It's so damn good. So
I sold so much of that this last weekend. Oh my goodness!
At the Christmas event?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's because of the polar bear.
Oh, there's no polar bear on
It
it.
doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever.
It's that ingrained nostalgia. You see that shit around Christmas time, and the first thing you think of is the Coca-Cola polar bear from the old advertisements.
I had a kid. He bought a bottle of Coke off me, and he's like, I asked him, "Hey, do you need me to open that for you? Because I have a bottle opener on my wagon." And he's like, "No, I'll get it with my teeth."
Oh Jesus Christ!
And I said, "Your dentist probably wouldn't like that." He's like, it's fine, it's whatever." And he came back later. He's like, "Yeah, can you open this for me?"
Jesus Christ! You know what you should do though for the next Christmas event, because I'm sure you're going to go to at least one more this year. You should get somebody to make you ornaments of your hot dog cart. Christmas tree ornaments. I mean, the worst that happens, they don't sell this year, but they sell next year.
Yeah,
So you
maybe.
can always just store them.
Although I did get guarantee a secure spot for 4th of July.
Did you?
Yeah, but based off of my performance here for the Christmas event, the person that invited me to it wants me to set up for 4th of July. So
that's good.
I got to make sure to have as many hot dogs as possible for that one.
Oh yeah, don't skimp on the dogs on 4th. No. I strongly suggest you look into like a large igloo cooler.
Oh, I have one.
Do you like the
yes.
one that's the ones that are
the real big one?
Okay, you're gonna need to get yourself a small pickup truck by then.
It's like I think it's like 110 gallon.
You are setting aside money for a pickup truck. I'm hoping.
I'm trying to go for one of those windowless cargo vans that I can call the Wienermobile.
The Wienermobile.
Yes.
What's
Definitely
wrong?
not sketchy.
Wait, but don't trucks and vans have different rules?
I mean, for what?
Oh, you're gonna still serve off the cart, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna have a van. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The van would be used So basically, what my goal is get a second cart, get someone to run it, and so I want to set something up for the whole week, so I can hire someone to operate the first cart for the whole week while I take the second cart to find new spots for that second cart.
Well, so this is going back on why I said you shouldn't do that, though. Think about it. The reason you pulled out of your Pogue Mahone situation for a while is because business density dropped pretty dramatically from being at that location. And the
Sure.
reason you're back at the stockyards is because fresh business, fresh viewers, or fresh
Yeah.
tourism, etc. Fresh tourism is almost always better than a consistent local base.
But there's something to be said because uh I'm going out to car dealerships at this point now.
Yeah,
And so I go out there once a week.
sure,
And I get consistent business once a week.
sure, because you're there once a week.
Yeah. And that's the
I
whole
I
idea.
am telling you that like I said, until you've reached a surplus of like $35,000, $40,000, you should not consider buying a second cart. And the reason is simple. It's a lot of running those carts back and forth unless you get somebody that's willing to haul the carts they're using for you. There's concerns of whether or not that person is going to maintain your consistency because you never know whether an employee is going to withhold or uphold their end of the bargain. And you also have to consider that, again, you're doing well because you're doing these places a few times. You're creating the necessary scarcity of your own market because there isn't a lot of you out there. There isn't a lot of wiener slingers, to be honest. Mostly taco trucks.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really popular to do taco trucks. The only like hot dog things I've ever seen consistently are like the ones that are wrapped in bacon and fried. Those are like
Yeah, no, I did a bacon wrap dog. People loved it
yeah, that's
when I did
because
it.
it's really popular in general. But that's what I'm trying to say is right now you're creating the scarcity for your food in your own market, which is good. Scarcity has an appeal to it because it's like, damn, this cart might not be here next time. But you get to a point where it's like, oh yeah, he's here 2, 3 times a week, or at least one of his people is. I've had their hot dog this week. I'm gonna go somewhere else because you're only gonna get so much business off of every place that you go to. You have to assume for every 10 potential customers, you only get one of them, if you're lucky. Your Christmas event worked out well because you had probably thousands of people that came through there that day.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I need is I got to find out where all the hungry people are.
well, no, that's the problem, and you know this as much as anybody, as much as you have flights of fancy about how you're gonna live out your ultimate food selling dream. Is that at the end of the day, we've worked at a lot of restaurants. How often are there actually regulars? Regulars are kind of a lie. A regular is somebody in the food world. A regular is somebody that will eat at your restaurant once a month, twice if you're lucky. That's a regular. You know why fast food has regulars? Hey man, that Burger King down the street from work is perfect. Let's go there again.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not the Burger King down the street. You're the hot dog cart that moves from one location to the next. And even then, most of the time workers bring their own food, especially in Texas, bro. It's so
Yeah.
expensive to eat out every day, and Texas has a lower minimum wage. Granted, lower cost of living in general, but still. So that's why I keep encouraging you to like just no, slow your roll, really get to know your market. If you know that there's a place where it's like, damn, I have 14 places to hit and 7 days to do it. Okay, then you open a second cart. You rotate that cart through those other 7 places you're not able to hit on your own all the time. But until then, you really just risk your own market by oversaturating it with a second cart. You can kind of understand where I'm coming from. It's
I mean, well,
it's simple
here's the thing.
economics,
Well, Dallas is huge though. Dallas DFW is huge.
right? But you're not doing all of DFW.
You know, the idea would be I set up a consistent schedule for Fort Worth. Then I'll set up a consistent schedule for Arlington and one
Okay,
for Grand Prairie.
but do you
Then
have
like,
spaces in there already?
huh?
Do you
Not
have
yet.
consistent locations? And that's what I'm trying to
No.
say. Is you need
And
to take
but
this
that's
year to tour those spaces and find those
yeah.
consistent,
Well,
well
I'm
purchasable locations.
I'm just saying if I nail down a consistent schedule for Fort Worth,
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean
Then I
that's just
already know that
business.
Fort Worth works, and
Sure.
I can say here's a 6-day schedule for Fort Worth. Go out and do it. I can say that to somebody. And I have a second cart. I can take that second cart to Arlington and just start doing Arlington.
You just have to be aware that at the end of the day, if you do that and you don't have, like I said, $40,000 to fall back on, that's why I keep saying pad out 35 to 45 $40,000, because if you have that money, that big fucking pillow of space that you can have wiggle room, you can afford to lose $1,000 in a week here and there, because ultimately you just write that off in your taxes, right? Hey, had a bad
Yeah.
business week, writing that shit off. You can afford to do that in your taxes and make the difference between the two carts. But what happens is you're sitting there with 10 grand, you buy a second cart, it costs you a good portion of that money, if not all of it. And then you start market testing in those spaces while you're in debt, and you lose money to those spaces while you're in debt, and you end up breaking even on the business and not having enough to pay your bills. That's where I'm trying to help you understand there's an importance to having that big fuck off money, because
Oh
having
yeah.
that big fuck off money is a way to protect your business and protect your livelihood from, well, you really,
Oh, I'm aware, and that's something I'm working towards.
because that's the one, like we talked about that one time, like I think it was almost first or second stream when we were talking about down in Cleburne. That business tanked between you and him.
Oh, I know. And
And
I got way too eager. I got way too
you got
zealous.
way yeah, you got way too eager, you got way too overzealous. He got way too eager, he got way too overzealous. His pride got the best of him. He let you run fucking rampant. He was not a good leader. He was out of control. You were out of control. And I'm sitting there in the middle like, if you guys can't see that the bacon cheeseburger is the most popular thing on the menu, I don't know how to help you. If you can't tell that the bacon barbecue cheeseburger that I am struggling to keep up on by myself every shift, because it's all anybody fucking orders, is the most popular thing you have here, and that you are marketing poorly right now, I don't know what to do, because we're drowning in debt and you guys are buying fish that we throw away every day. I'm just trying to help you not repeat that, because you're
Oh, I know.
from my point of view, you're doing well. Not even as somebody that's there. When you show me food and stuff, it all looks marketable. It all looks sellable. It all looks like a picture of it is like, oh, I kind of want to try that. That looks fun. And that's very different for you, because you don't normally do that. You normally do shit that is like, damn, that looks a little bit fucking sweet for my mouth. Like that shit looks a little bit out of my range. And
I'm gonna be doing.
that's not something you need to be marketing, because you aren't that level. Not necessarily that you
I
can't cook that level, but you can't afford that level to
Yeah.
to
I
have bad weeks.
I am gonna be doing a biscuit and gravy hot dog, so that's gonna be fun.
Okay, first of all, tell me it's gonna be like a homemade stuffed brat instead.
I'll probably pick up a brat for it.
Well, no,
Uh,
make it. Make it. Make it. Here's why. Listen, if you're gonna do something really cool, really different, do a weekly brat. And for the biscuits and gravy bratwurst, here's what you do. You make your good, like country style fucking gravy, right? But here's the clincher. Instead of doing the sausage in the country style gravy, you're gonna fill that bratwurst skin with breakfast sausage.
yeah, I mean I could do it that way,
And then that's
but
gonna
yeah,
be just the most bomb bite. If you get like good chili flake in there, you get just the right amount of crushed sage, like really just make it pop. I'd imagine anise. Am I crazy for thinking anise would be good? Like a
that
little
would
bit, not much.
that would take it in a little bit of a different weird turn.
Well, because it has that little bit of black licorice flavor, but I feel like it would take it in some positive direction if it was done correctly.
Okay,
Because
we're
sage and
again,
anise do love each
we're
other.
okay. Yes, they do. I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I am saying though that the average Texan wouldn't necessarily appreciate it.
But the average Texan is going to be confused and appreciate it if you do it right. And the reason is because the black pepper from your country gravy, especially if you use bacon in the country gravy, like bacon and bacon fat, will actually
Okay.
enhance those flavors in a way that'll actually make sense.
We're talking about people that think wolf chili is peak.
I don't know what wolf chili is because it's
It's
probably
pretty
not
mediocre.
peak. Because it's
It's
probably not peak, and I probably wouldn't eat it.
it's pretty mediocre.
Are you ever gonna put the hate chili on the cart? I feel like you've
I
got to have a way to do it.
I could do the hate chili on there,
Well, a
which
milder version of the hate chili, because
yeah, I'm not gonna
the
do the
version
full hate
I
chili.
like murders mouths.
Yeah, the actual hate chili is not one I'd share. The only reason why I made that in the first place was like as the name suggests, out of sheer unadulterated hatred.
Because you were
So
pissed off at the place you
I
were
was
working.
so pissed off. Oh, why is it red looking? I put paprika in there. Why is it so spicy? Ma'am, it's not spicy. It's just paprika.
Hey, you know what they say? You eat with your eyes first, and your eyes said it looked hot. People are ignorant when it comes to food, man. You can't
I
help.
taste something. Obviously, it's too spicy. Where's the manager? I want to complain.
And Compass never did anything that was that spicy. Compass's food
Never.
was solid. Admittedly, their food was solid. There was nothing intrinsically wrong with Compass's food. But yeah, no, there was definitely nothing in there that was that fucking spicy.
The general manager was just an absolute moron. I hated her guts so much. I'm glad they pulled me out of that shithole of a kitchen. Like that was just such a terrible time. I got so pissed off and angry at that whole situation.
Oh shit, that's funny. Ugh. So, I noticed your Christmas
Anyway.
sweater.
Yeah, I know. Got the welcome to the North Swole.
Oh my god, that Santa is
Yeah.
way too buff. That's not okay.
Boom. Look at him. He's
So-
jacked.
I was struggling to find something Christmassy that I could wear, and then I found this woman's Santa dress. Hold on, I will rise to the occasion so everybody can see
Is this
beauty.
the natural progression of fingering an android? Is you just start turning into a trans person?
There we go. Now you even got this little belt right down here on the waist. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. You got the boobs.
I'm
All right.
I'm a whole ass ho ho ho. I'm a whole ho 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 now.
Ho ho ho.
Really now.
We're sex positive on this stream. We sex work is real work, guys.
Sex work is real work. You're never gonna convince me how it's not. I'm sorry. You're never gonna.
I'm not
me
convinced.
sex-
I'm not trying to convince you.
Sex work is absolutely real work. Well, because we've had that conversation before where you're like, well, sex work isn't real work. And I was like, no, it's absolutely real work. Well, kind of. I was like, listen, you've met enough high class call girls to know that shit took work.
They're okay. Just like any restaurant, just like any I'm going to compare this to the food industry, just because it works. Good marketing gets you good money.
True.
If you want to be mediocre, you can be mediocre. You're not going to be all that successful, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
food industry is the best terrible example of it because fuck yeah, you can tell when food's good and when food's not.
Like you can if you want to do really well, you have to have good food and good marketing. You can do it without one or the other.
How fun would it be if I got Keith Lee to look at your hot dog cart one of these times it comes through?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be terrible.
I'm sure it would be terrible.
It would be terrible. You're a one-man operation. That would be terrible. It would not save your business. It would actually somehow manage to ruin it more than you could possibly try to do yourself.
Yeah.
Honest to God. I love Keith Lee, and he does amazing things for small businesses. But most of those small businesses are brick and mortars with a full kitchen that can operate quickly. And staff up if they have to.
What I would give to have just like no rent brick and mortar spot. That would be.
That's not a thing.
I know it's not a thing. I know
also,
it's not.
you'd not be able to move around to things that give you more money.
But I would be able to just be still and just like have my space, and I would know that it's my space.
You know, here's the thing. I think you like the idea a lot more than you would like the reality.
Oh, I agree. I love the idea.
Let me explain why.
I know the I know.
You have what I like to refer to as kitchen PTSD, meaning you don't mind your job right now because it's yours and you do it from home, quote unquote. We're not saying that for legal reasons, but you do it
For
where.
legal reasons, I do all of my prep at the commissary.
But yeah, my point is you're not tied down. You're not tied down to a space, right? You can do a lot of your prep on your own time and your own comfort when you're ready, as loud as you want, and nobody bothers you. You change that up and you get a brick and mortar, now you're reporting for duty every day. You're stuck to a fixed schedule no matter what. Because if
Yep.
you don't, you can't afford to pay the rent.
I know. I know.
And
And
if
it
you're not
sucks.
consistent at that location, you have days where you're closed, people start thinking the business has already failed and they stop showing up. Because
You want to know a
because
fun
customers are
story?
fucking fickle.
Fun story. I actually went back out to the stockyards on this last Friday,
Yeah.
and this is my first time back out there in however many months. I had one of my old regulars show up, and she's like, "I thought you died. I thought you got shot."
See?
And I was just
Imagine a
like,
brick and mortar, but you closed for a day that you normally would work.
but of course she was so happy to see that I was still alive, and you know, but someone I guess had told her that I was dead.
What the fuck? Was it one of the local homeless
I don't know.
that the police have to
There was
chase
one
out?
homeless guy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
They chase them out pretty regularly, to be honest.
But you know what? It's fine. It's
It's
great.
it's fine.
Fine. It's
Everything's
fine.
everything's fine.
Fine.
Oh shit.
Oh,
So,
but
I don't know if you've heard about this situation with Nvidia in China.
I personally have not. I imagine it has something to do with the fact that, Taiwan makes all the computer chips and something of that nature. I don't know. But maybe it's just that Nvidia doesn't want to be beholden to China.
It's
Something to that
actually
extent.
so much worse than you think. So, I've done a little bit of reading about this, and a lot of it has to do with the new AI chips, right? So, AI chips aren't new. Let me reiterate how important that is of a concept. The AI chip is not a new thing. The AI technology and scripting that has become more common in the coding for these AI chips, however, is. So AI chips have already been being used, mostly because of digital photography, for about 6 years, give or take. Don't quote me. I'm not a perfect person. I don't know everything. I know a lot. I just don't know everything. But AI
That's like
chip,
the first time I've ever heard you say that. I don't know
you're
everything.
so full of shit. But like, they have been being used for officially for a lot of things for a very long time, but especially in cell phones. The way it works is when you go to shoot an image with your cell phone, right? You get your perfect shot, right? Click. When you click that button, it does not take one image. It takes the same image about 30 times in one click. Then it takes and it combines all the elements of those images, refines it, cleans it up, gets rid of the static, and then you have one image left. That's how those technologies work. That's why iPhone has a really good like AI chip built in. That's why AI the iPhones phones or phone cameras have always shot such good pictures is because the software and the technology behind it do a really really good job of cleaning up images that are taken by the iPhone. So AI chips aren't new. Samsung's had them for a long time. Chinese phones have been using them for a long time. Obviously, the iPhone, which is technically a Chinese phone, if you really want to look at it, it has been doing this for a long time. This is not new technology, but with the power of OpenAI and its ability to learn at such an extreme rate, China, saying this without pissing off Amazon, China is well known for hacking into people's shit. It's a really common practice. It's as bad as Indian scamming. It's a really fucking common practice. And these AI chips are taking the work out of it because you can just teach the AI, hey, instead of making a machine that's like, hey, test this sequence of codes. That's how we used to do it, right? That's how a lot of hackers and crackers, they create machines that test a group of codes. Now, I just tell the machine itself, a machine that's multi-tool purposed, hey, figure out what the password is for this, and it figures it out, or it finds a way through the port, or it finds a flaw in the firewall and slips through. AI chips are crazy smart, crazy smart. That's why you got to consider that there's like AI art. AI art programs they're all written off of this, and these new NVIDIA chips, and not so much the AMD, but definitely the new NVIDIA chips. A lot of them are using the OpenAI software to code these chips so that they get a lot more bang for their buck every time it does an image processing for a video game, etc. But as we know from Bitcoin mining, you don't necessarily have to use the processors for what they were intended for, as long as you can find a way to tell the driver, hey, look at this thing and examine it and break it down and rebuild it. AI generated images on your graphics card are being used in China for hacking. So, Nvidia has been having to deal with a certain amount of export issues. It's been really common. Like, people were finding ways to ship the 4090 in behind government officials, and so Nvidia has actually made a whole new chipset, quote unquote new, of 4090s that are like a different 4090 that are going to China now. Like, they are trying so hard not to lose the Chinese market because it's such a good market. And it's funny that they say this: if China can't buy from the United States, they'll just build it themselves. So the U.S. has to be careful. China is a very important market for the technology industry. True, but also not true. They actually tried to release some new chips recently that basically they're just trash. They're so bad. Oh man. But yeah, Nvidia's 5 billion of China orders in limbo after latest restriction, and this was October 31st. After latest U.S. curbs, tech company has been pushing to make chip shipments for next year before new restrictions come into effect. I'm not doing any of this. I'm not doing any of this. I'm not
I
creating a
usually
brain
just hit.
tent.
I usually just like refresh the page and then immediately hit the stop
Block.
button, and it doesn't. It usually stops it.
I really wish it would just let me read. Oh, it's Wall Street Journal. No wonder. Let's try it. We'll try it your way. Where's the stop button? Right here?
So you gotta hit refresh, then immediately hit the stop button.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, whatever.
Because it still blocks the rest of the article till you sign in.
Well, it's the Wall Street Journal. Nobody cares.
I mean, a lot of people definitely care about the Wall Street Journal. But yeah,
Yeah,
NVIDIA
the
delays
people at the Wall Street
launch
Journal care about the Wall Street Journal.
of AI chips. It's all about the AI chips. It says U.S. issues warning to NVIDIA urging to stop redesigning chips for China. Oh shit. NVIDIA is consistently exploring ways to navigate the recent restrictions imposed on the export regulation of advanced chips by the U.S. government. The company has recurrently introduced new hardware designed to maneuver around new limitations, whether related to the intricacies of multi-chip functionality or overall compute performance. Presently, NVIDIA is said to be preparing a new series of HPC and gaming GPUs such as HGX H20 or the speculated GeForce RTX 4090 Delta graphics card aimed at overcoming these regulatory challenges. In a recent interview with Fortune, U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo issued a cautionary statement to NVIDIA. She warned that any new product representing a redesign of previously prohibited processor would promptly become subject to additional restrictions. Like, they're basically at war with our government now. Not China, that's happened for a long time. But look at this. Look at this. August of 2022, November of 22, or October of 2023, November of 2023, December of 2023.
Look, I mean, look,
They just keep
I am all
re-sanctioning them.
for. I am all for private enterprise. I'm all for down with government.
Right.
As long as it's not hurting me,
I just
I'm
think it's
good.
crazy. I've never seen in my lifetime, I should say, because I know there's been times in our life that we've limited like certain exports, like especially weaponry, but I have never seen the government so forcefully denying a country a set of processors. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. In further drama, Diablo 4, which has already had issues with, basically feeling like it's just bloat. The game just feels bloaty.
Honestly, I was not really impressed by the, you know, like I. Granted, I haven't even played any of the Diablo games, so I mean, I guess that to that end, my opinion's kind of not that valid.
Well,
But
you'd have to play D4 to understand what I'm talking about, but it's horribly slow to be honest. Like it's horribly slow. I haven't even finished. The story didn't intrigue me. I know some people really enjoyed the story, but I was just like, man, we kind of solved everything in Diablo 3 though. So all we've done in Diablo 4 is introduce a new villain. We all know I hate Dragon Ball Z. This is not an uncommon thing. I say this all the time. Fuck DBZ. Fuck the storyline. It's so fucking ungodly boring. Diablo 4 feels like the newest DBZ episode of Diablo. And what I mean by that is, oh wow, we solved the major problem in Diablo 3. You know what? How are we going to make Diablo 4? I don't know. Why don't we just make a new villain? Yeah, let's not make it about Satan this time. Let's make it about Satan's baby and her love child that is humanity. And like for no reason, by the way. Lilith love or not Lilith? Is it Lilith? No, Lilith's
yeah,
somebody else.
Lilith.
No,
I
it's
think
somebody
I thought it was
else.
Lilith.
It might be Lilith. But anyways, she loved the Nephilim and she loved humanity. They were her babies. So why is she out destroying them now? It canonically doesn't make sense. If you look back in the timeline for Diablo, it doesn't make any sense for her to suddenly be the enemy of man. But going into what I was saying, though, no less than 6 times in one stream, Diablo 4 lead devs assure players they won't add pay to win junk. We've been very clear about this. The
Have you
reason is,
though?
the reason is somebody, there was a leak, an apparent leak. You know, leaks, you don't really trust them, but you don't really discount them either because an unusual amount of them end up being true. Um, they leaked that basically with this next season's battle pass, there might be maybe if you pay, bought the purchase battle pass, you might get access to some early legendaries or something. And it was just like, isn't this what we all said we weren't doing after Diablo Immortal? Or are you guys just slowly trying to make it acceptable again? Like it wasn't acceptable in Diablo Immortal, except it made them millions of dollars, and it's one of the most highly grossing video games of all time, thanks to whales. Ooh. Um,
Like,
and now so they're like having to argue with people because it's like we do want to confirm that we did talk about and address the issues we've been seeing a lot in the community related to pay for power that have been swirling around. People talking about, are you guys planning on adding pay for power in Diablo 4? And I know that we talked about it in the beginning. We're not planning on adding pay for power in Diablo 4. Again, we have no plans to add pay for power to Diablo 4. There's no plans to sell power in Diablo 4. But like for some context, the YouTube channel Bellular, and if you don't know who Bellular is, excellent fucking YouTuber. I watch a lot of his stuff because he's always talking about kind of the underside of video game design, especially in relation to Diablo, World of Warcraft, etc. Um, recently shared a video titled "Blizzard's latest survey is very concerning." And it was because in the survey, they were like, would you be okay to pay money to gain extra advantages? And it was like, what? And it was a survey they
wait,
sent out to
wait
everybody.
a second. We know what you're doing.
Yeah, the survey reportedly detailed 4 paid tiers. Hold on. priced at 50, 70, 80, and 100 respectively, as well as benefits for players buying into higher tiers, including a bigger stash, which if you don't know, the stash thing is one of the biggest complaints from like the hardcore players that are still playing it. The reason being is, and I'll explain kind of what happens here, but the reason being is like it's a game about basically hoarding loot. That's what you fucking do. You run around, you kill shit, you get loot, you get power, you kill more shit, you loot. That's the gameplay loop. The gameplay loop is I have a problem with letting go of things, okay? That is it is I have a problem with I'm a hoarder and I have a hard time getting rid of things, the video game. That is Diablo 4. And you have a tiny little stash that you can fill in minutes. And so anyways, in early access to uniques and legendary powers, the fact that they would put this, it's like, don't get me wrong, people are mad about that. They are. Genuinely. The idea that this could happen, they are mad about. That is the big part of the drama. How long am I going? Another hour and 10 minutes. That is the big part of the drama, right? This is it.
Where are our slaves?
Where are
I
my
don't know.
slaves? I had slaves?
I
Oh, you're talking. Oh, no. I'm not Santa. I'm just a slutty ho ho ho.
I was gonna
In my
say
little
whoever
ho ho
made
ho
my.
dress.
Never mind.
Oh, you meant where are my sleeves?
Well, he announced that he's trans after he fingerprinting the android.
Nobody said I was trans. You cut that shit out. Anyways, but
I'm not judging you, David. I accept you for who you are.
Let me finish. But like, uniques and legendary powers aside, like don't get me wrong. Again, people, yeah, a little annoyed about this, but whatever. It's something that you overcome with playtime. You'll still get the legendaries and shit. But the bigger stash, being able to pay money for a bigger stash, people are furious. And the reason is because they shouldn't have to. The reason this is such a big deal is the devs outright said the reason they cannot do the bigger stash is because of a programming choice. Scott, do you know anything about that?
What?
The programming choice they made.
No,
So
I'm not familiar with Diablo 4.
So here's what happens. We are white people. We can't talk about slaves in 2023 without being called racist. Don't get canceled. It was a typo. Listen, typo or not, the fact that you said that you accidentally typoed slaves while I was in a Santa-looking hoodie dress. Yeah, I could see how I need a little dwarves working in the background next time.
Let's just get this out on the table and then wipe it off the table real quickly. Everybody owned everybody. Everyone was a slave to other countries. Everyone was a slave to all sorts of other cultures.
It's called conquering.
It's been around since the dawn of time, and it just turns out that one particular civilization happened to be the most terrible and brutal out of all of them, and now we just get the most shit for it. I'm
gonna stop you there. We were not the most terrible and brutal.
We're the ones that won, and we have the most developed technology. So
no,
we
have the most recorded history.
Sure, but we're also the ones standing at top.
We
right
have
now.
the most
all the
recorded...
first world countries.
Nope, I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. As far as slavery goes, it's not that we were the most brutal. We just have the most recorded history.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, were there more depraved things that people have done?
Pretentious Kraken agrees. We just had the most recorded history. Because the most brutal slaving nations, there's two spaces in the world that had the most brutal slavery. Africa, and this is hilarious. And I don't mean this in any sort of ironic way. In the most unironic way possible, the worst slavery that ever happened did happen on American soil, and it was Native Indians.
Yeah.
It was Native Americans had the worst history of slavery ever known. Egypt was up there, but Egypt was also African. I mean, okay, so you killed a handful of slaves to go into the afterlife with the master. Like, don't get it twisted. I get that that's wrong, but like, there was definitely that. Native Americans are the most brutal slavers of any recorded history in the world. No joke. In a fucked up and unironic way, white people were actually some of the least brutal slavers. We also chose
I'm talking about
it.
No, I'm saying that out of all the countries that ever existed, that white countries, we proved ourselves to be the most terrible and uh
Oh
the most
yeah.
powerful.
Oh yeah.
And the fact
Absolutely.
that we won that war of who is the most terrible.
While so
And then we said, okay, now that we've won, we're backing off now.
so the adorably unironic fact about that, when it comes to slavery in white nations, European, American, whatever, um, part of the reason we won wars was yes, slavery does still exist.
Yeah.
We're not glazing over that. But part of the reason we won wars was because we didn't really rely on the slaves. We relied on technology. We learned a long time ago that brute force doesn't beat a horse with a guy in armor and a spear.
And a very well made speech.
And we learned that learning how to shoot things out of the end of iron barrels and hit things from a distance is also extremely powerful. Technology. Technology is what won the West. Technology is what won war. Agricultural technology is what produced greater portions of civilizations. Slaves, man. Slaves. I'm sorry, they weren't the. Everyone likes to talk about, oh, our country was built up. I mean, yes and no. It definitely helped free up somebody smart enough to make interesting new technology.
Slaves were present as technology was being created. That doesn't mean it was built on the back of slaves. Slaves were around in every single civilization since the dawn of time. We just happened to be one of the first ones to get rid of slavery as a
and again,
method of.
we used as people, we used slaves to free our hands. We did.
Yes,
We used
we changed the entire podcast just for you, pretentious Kraken. You got to type better next time.
We just like talking. I told you before, Kraken. We just talk about all the shit we want to. That's how it goes. If shit goes off the rails, that's just part of the podcast. Like that's just this is it. This is Fecal Matters. We talk about shit.
But you know what? You know what the
Scatcast for short.
You know what those third world countries really needed was pay to win.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on, bro. Pay for power.
If they paid for power.
Okay, so Tuesday night only. Yes, only Tuesday nights. We're only doing Tuesday nights. It just works better for both of our schedules. I mean, I could literally podcast this any night, but he can't because he runs his own business.
Saturdays are definitely no go for me. Like this Saturday is gonna be absolutely nightmarish.
Right. But no, that's exactly it though. Is like as far as slavery goes, in the most hilariously unironic way.
I could also do Monday nights, but
we could do Monday nights if we have to.
We
can do
I'm okay with Tuesday nights. I can do Monday nights. I can do so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The only reason why, actually, Monday night there's the EDM night, huh? Never mind. I can't really do Monday nights.
See, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I go out to there's a bar called Curfew. They have an EDM night on Mondays.
Tuesday night. That's the one that always seems to work because nothing interesting happens on Tuesdays.
Except for Taco Tuesday.
I mean, it's Taco Tuesday. You can just go to the restaurant, get your tacos, and go home. Like, there's nothing.
That's what I tried to do, and they took forever.
Well, no, I don't expect you to join every Tuesday. As far as it goes, Scott and I are the primary hosts. Anybody else that comes on would be an extra host for a particular stream. But yeah, it's you'd be a guest host. Yeah. Don't get it wrong. You don't have to be here every week. That would be unrealistic.
Yeah, no, but my whole point was I was not saying
enjoy joining the podcast at some point, Kraken.
Yeah. Well, I was not saying that the white people were the most terrible and brutal slave owners ever to exist. That's not what I said. Or that's not what I meant to say anyway. What I meant to say was that we were the most terrible civilization, and we proved ourselves to be the most terrible and brutal civilization as a whole.
Yeah.
Because, we won the war of who is the most terrible. And then after we won, we said, okay, well, now we don't really want to fight anymore. We want to actually develop stuff.
Well, and it's really funny because as far as expansion goes, like, people that don't really know their history don't look at how Canada and America became what they are. The French kept Canada, the Americans kept America. like the English kept America, the English colonists, I guess is the best way to think of it. I don't really care about cancel culture. I really don't. And even the people that watch this channel don't give a shit about it. But yeah, yeah, as a
If they want
general,
to cancel us because we're talking about history the way the way it actually happened and not revision some sort of weird revisionist 1604 project history.
but yeah, as
You
far
know,
as like European nations go, the French and the English were the two most seaborne and therefore the two most capable of taking over in the Americas. And they did. They fucking did. And don't forget the Spanish. Goddamn, what they did to the Aztecs is unbelievable. Unfucking cool what they did down there. But yeah,
here's this
Spanish,
gift for you. It's a blanket.
the Spanish, the French, and the English did crazy things in America because they had navies. Technology, man. It's all technology. At the end of the day, it always comes back to technology. Even right now, like we were talking about earlier, we're not in a active civil war. We're not in an active combat civil war. We're in a cold war. We're in an information war. We're in control war. And 100% the way it works is, can I stop you from having control over information? And that's part of the reason why we had to bring up the China thing. It's like, yeah, they're literally like preventing information from traveling to other places.
I believe in that one guy. Don't trust China. China is asshole.
Oh boy. Oh man. So on brighter topics, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is so wholesome. We're gonna kind of, we're not gonna try to glaze through this per se, but we're gonna definitely gonna have a little conversation about it.
I
They
I
are.
think
Do you understand that Stardew Valley is over 7 years old?
I know it's a relatively old game. I was gonna say it seems like Stardew Valley is what Terraria was supposed to end up
Yeah,
as,
kinda. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
but Terraria was just like a 2D Minecraft, but it
Right.
was a little bit more than that. And then you have Stardew Valley, just like it kind of has multiple aspects of both games and its own aspects, and it made it really nice and wholesome.
Right. No, like, so Stardew Valley, first of all, 7 years old. It's 7 years old and change at this
Wait,
point.
hang on,
And what's
I'm
truly
curious about something.
impressive, what's truly impressive is the guy that writes it, he's still adding content to it while also working on Haunted Chocolatier, which I'm not gonna lie, if that ever goes live, we're definitely gonna be doing that as a group live stream at some point. That'd be way too fun not to do. But yeah, like, it's impressive to me, even today. It is impressive to me that it is still like this big ongoing thing. Um, the guy that writes and produces everything for Stardew, he's still adding new stuff 7 years later. And people in an interview recently, they were asking him like, "What is it that keeps you putting more things?" And he's like, "Well, I kind of look at it as my entire life's work at this point." Dude, I wish I was that dedicated to anything. Like, honest to God, I wish there was anything in my life that I was like, this is my child. This is my life's work, and I will nurture it to the end of my days. Because I
I
don't
have
have it.
something like that.
I don't, though. I've really
For
thought
me, it's
about this.
wieners.
This is the closest thing I have to that. And even this is like one of those things where it's like, this is something that keeps me from sitting in my corner doing nothing but playing World of Warcraft. This is something that keeps me from just existing. But I'm so impressed with the tenacity of this fellow because there's no reason he needs to be doing it, but he's still doing it. I just, I don't know. It's apparently
So
self-destructive behavior. I did not plan this, but it's a thing. What do you mean, Kraken? Like, as far as Stardew Valley? Because I know you're also at least moderately addicted to it.
I did not plan this, but it's a thing.
But yeah, like, it's just it's just such an impressive thing. Your life's work is self-destructive behavior. Oh
Oh,
no!
It's okay, Kraken.
That's the wrong attitude. Oh man, that's funny.
But
But yeah, I just so impressed with Stardew Valley. I think it would be really fun. Do you have Stardew?
do I?
Yes.
I do not.
One of these
Uh,
days, you and I and Courtney need to sit down and just like have a weekly get together and just do Stardew Valley bullshit.
I would be more than happy to do that.
We'll call it fecal farming. A fecal
Farming shit.
matter, a farming shit, a fecal matters presentation.
Only if we can get you started on Warframe one of these days.
I'm not going to play Warframe with you, bro. That is like the most self-destructive game you've ever played.
Oh, hey, pretentious Kraken, since your life work is self-destructive behavior, you should play Warframe with me.
You're already doing that on Saturday? Are you doing Saturday group games? And I wasn't invited, and neither was Courtney?
I
How dare you? How dare you not invite Miss Tragedy?
How dare you not invite me? Can't do
Irony
it
that we
anyway,
talk
but
about
you know.
self-destructive behavior. Courtney's online nickname is Miss Tragedy. The most
Dude, play War.
self-destructive
Heck yeah! Hey, Kraken, do you play Warframe?
I will not play fucking Warframe. Stop asking.
I am asking pretentious Kraken.
I know, but she's saying I should play it.
You did, so which means you don't anymore. I mean, I'm
Oh
also kind of
man.
at that point too, but you know,
So
like, cause I do they are coming out with a new update that's looking pretty neat, like the Whispers in the Walls update.
go ahead, take some time, talk about it. Just do it.
Oh man.
I can't not let you at
So
this point because now we've got
so
somebody
anyway,
talking about it in
so
chat.
we're going into some spoilers here. All right, we're going into some spoilers.
Uh-oh.
So the Tenno are a warrior class of humans. It's a subsect of humans that are very lusted after by the various factions. But the Tenno get a hold of this creature from the void, and they shave its finger off. Now the finger itself is about the size of a semi truck. Actually, maybe not that big, but like size of like a Volkswagen Bug. It's this gigantic finger, and they use it to power their starships.
What the
It's
fuck?
Anyway. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Anyway, so the creature itself it has a manifestation. It's almost like it's got a ghost version of itself, but it tries to infiltrate the real world, get out of the void into the real world, and you can hear it tapping on the walls. And it's like when it's presented as a very much a horror style quest, and it is amazingly fun. But this particular expansion, they're going into the actually the backing up the new war one. They see this guy come out of the void. They see the whole thing, the whole creature come out of the void. Of course, it's missing his finger because it's in your spaceship. But you know, you see it show up, and it's now loose and rampant inside of the system. So now this next quest that's coming up, you're actually going to be dealing with, from my understanding, you're going to be dealing with this particular monster. So I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be fun.
Giant fingerings aside, what the fuck?
I know it's so weird, but it's also so cool. You have to
Warframe
like
just doesn't make
actually play
sense
the
to me,
game.
man. It just
Well,
doesn't
you
make
gotta
sense
you gotta
to me.
actually play it. But
Oh no, man.
Their cinematics are so peak. It's awesome. Like the new war cinematic, you don't even have to play it to like really just love it. I honestly think you should. I just want to. I want to see your reaction to it personally. Like you don't even have to play the game. I just want to know how. Like I want to see
Yeah, send it
how
to me on
you
Facebook.
react. Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
New war cinematic.
All right. We'll watch your cinematic. We'll watch your stupid fucking Warframe cinematic.
Because like this thing gave me immense amount of chills when I watched it, and it's just like it's a very very good representation of the game itself and how it feels to play it.
Turn it up.
So she's like the I won't say anything.
Shut up. Alright, we all know where this is going. I see the tentacles. Got some Visions of the Void shit going on here. Okay.
And then here's the thing: this is actually very close to the actual gameplay.
No, I've watched you play. This is nothing like the actual gameplay. They're actually killing the enemies instead of simply running through the level as fast as they can. If this was anything close to the actual gameplay, I might actually want to play Warframe. A reminder that you guys ruined. So what's our cinematics were absolutely better than this. I fucking 100% agree. Also, can we talk about how SWTOR should have been one of the best fucking MMOs of all time, but it was such a generic WoW copy that it just fucking ruined it? Because the story was great, and then I hit the end game, and I was like, oh, the end game is just the worst version of World of Warcraft. I don't want to fucking play this anymore. Bounty Hunter? Bounty Hunter was like 10 out of 10 for leveling. I fucking adored that game. I don't know, man. You still can't
Like
convince
that-
me I want to play this shit.
I'm just saying that cinematic, like is like the actual fight scene with the warframes and everything. That is very close to how the game plays when you're actually fighting people.
No, so TG was talking about SWTOR, and I actually wanted to bring something up about that. I really enjoyed leveling in SWTOR because I played that shit the day it came out, like the day, and that was when we were still broke as shit living in that basement. I played that the day it came out, and I gotta tell you, I leveled like a motherfucker. I don't think I've ever leveled in an MMO, well, until mostly like retail World of Warcraft because they made it easy. But like at the time when leveling was usually considered to be a grind, man, did I love leveling in SWTOR. It was that world, that Star Wars universe. You run around. You had the fucking oh, why can't I think of the damn the skippers that you go through the woods in? They look like jet skis. I can't think of the fucking name. Why can't I think of the name? Somebody will fucking tell me. But anyways, you had those to travel around as like they were mounts and shit. And then it was BioWare. BioWare made it, so it had like some Mass Effect style like karma system built in, where like I don't know as much about the Sith characters so much as I really enjoyed the bounty hunter, because when I tried to level like any of the dark side characters, any of the Jedi knights, like I just didn't. Those characters felt so like opaquely good or evil that it wasn't even enjoyable. Whereas like the Bounty Hunter had ulterior motives, so the storyline for Bounty Hunter was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do what the dark side says because the Empire pays good. But also, did they just tell me to go murder a room full of children? Maybe I don't want to do that. I'm gonna betray this guy and instead wipe out his entire battalion. That shit was cool. It was cool playing a bounty hunter in SWTOR because you actually had the opportunity to decide against the game You never played Bounty Hunter, dude? It was fun. You got to choose how you wanted to play rather than kind of be like, hey, look, I'm a Sith Lord, so I just hate everybody equally. I will give them that. At least they were equal opportunity haters.
Equal rights, equal lefts.
Something like that. Really? I never heard equal rights, equal lefts, but I
You
kind
never,
of like it.
honestly, the most of the time when I hear equal rights, equal lefts, it's always when a woman is trying to fight a man,
Oh Jesus!
like actual like in a battle ring.
Right. So
Like I just
TG,
remember seeing the one video.
TG, what class did you play, and what was your probably your favorite part of that class and the story that came with it? Just out of curiosity. Ugh. But yeah, SWOTOR was super super fun. Just man, you get to the end of SWOTOR, and it's just nothing. Just like when I was playing Warframe, because I did play Warframe. I played it for about a week. I really did. I played it every day for about a week. And then I remember the moment the game was ruined for me. It was when Gibson started playing. And he's like, "Oh, you play
Yep.
Warframe now?" And he's like, "Here, let's do some Warframe." And I was like running around in this dungeon. I was having a good time killing things. And he was like, "Yeah, we're not doing what you're doing. You just run past everything." I was like, "Why are we just running past everything? I don't want to just run past everything. That's no fun. Why would we just run past everything?" No, we run past everything. Oh, it saves time. You get the same experience whether you kill them or not. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking boring." Whatever the Sith Jedi class
They
was called, there
okay.
was a couple of them. That's why I was curious because there was the Marauder, there
There's
was.
there's Marauder, Assassin, and Sith Lord. If I'm going off KOTOR 2, so I'm wondering
It's
if
not the same. It's
they
not the
ported
same.
that over.
It's close, but it's not the same. What were that didn't move? There we go. The Sith. Oh, what are I should say? What are the Sith? If I'm typing funny, it's because I have a broken finger. What are the Sith
He decided to finger
classes?
at
That
Android.
is not what fucking happened. Stop telling people that, you son of a bitch. In SWOTOR.
Sith Warrior, Inquisitor, Bounty Hunter, Imperial Agent.
So, for those that are new to the cast and don't know better, I was at work and I got a pipe swung around and smashed into my fingertip. So Sith had Inquisitor, Imperial Agent, and Juggernaut, and Juggernaut was like the tank version.
He was fingering it. He's going for Android 17, not 18. We all know to go for Android 18, but he wanted that pipe.
And then there was the Bounty Hunter, and Bounty Hunter had a few classes as well. This Sorcerer was kind of cool. I think some of this stuff is new because I don't think they had Oh wait, consular. Okay, smuggler and consular. So smuggler was basically the the allies. You think it was Inquisitor? Inquisitor is like the what was the Inquisitor? Inquisitor base class Sith Inquisitor. Sith sorcerer draws energy. Okay, so the Inquisitor was your base class. Your Inquisitor was your base class, and the Inquisitor would turn into, I believe it was the Juggernaut or the Sorcerer. And then I think Sith Warrior was another base class that turned into Imperial Agent and something else. I don't know. Their classes were weird. Yeah, the classes were weird. It was really fucking cool though. Whatever turns you on, man, bro. No, no, no. But the bounty hunter was cool. So the bounty hunter had the gunslinger and power tech, and the power tech, I believe, was either the healer. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Hey Kraken, before you pass out, add me on Warframe.
You're gonna pass
Or at
out. You
least
got to be able to make it another half hour for podcasts. Jeez, Kraken trying to go to sleep mid cast. But yeah, no, SWOTOR was one of those games that held so much promise. But I think, and TG, I'm sure you remember this. I don't know if you still play, but I'm sure you remember this. The worst part about SWOTOR, by a lot, was that pretty much every class was able to do everything. Every fucking class could do everything, and that was terrible. If you picked the Inquisitor, it had a tank version, a heal version, and a DPS version. If you picked Bounty Hunter, it had a tank version, a heal version, and a DPS version. And it just kind of wasn't great because it was like,
It's okay, Kraken. I forgive you.
nobody asked you to apologize for calling him a dipshit. He is a fucking dipshit. You looked at this motherfucker? Just put on another Warframe cinematic and Kraken will fall asleep instantly. Listen, I love it. You're fucking G for saying it out loud. But I was trying to be nice to Skittles because it's like his favorite fucking game.
It's one of my favorites for sure. It's
But
a good
yes,
one.
I agree. It's shit. I when I figured out how people that really play Warframe, I was like, this is bad. And then let's not forget,
I know. I am not a
at least he's
ginger.
not a
That's I
ginger.
got that going for me.
That's fair. Although I've got this gorgeous ginger beard. How do you guys feel? I'm thinking about cutting this thing at least in half. How do you guys feel about that?
You're just gonna cut it right down the middle.
No, I'm so serious. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna probably go to a barber after I get my L&I payouts so I can like pay my bills because they won't let me go back to work. I keep trying and they won't let me. But thinking about cutting my beard in half just because it's like sometimes it gets in the way.
You know, I was thinking about doing another playthrough on the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah. After
Yeah.
after we talked about it with Doug
Well,
Leon a few
no,
weeks ago,
it
or
actually,
last week, I guess.
no, it made me. I wanted to do it because there was there was a post in some sort of anime group where someone said, "Who's gonna win, Tarzan or Beast?"
Right.
Like, if you had to pit those two against each other, who's gonna win?
Right.
My vote's for Tarzan.
Mine's
And
for
someone said,
Beast.
well, no, someone said that Beast would be the one to win because he fought Zelda, and I said, you never once see Beast touch Zelda, ever.
I mean,
He
Beast
does
is still
not,
stronger than Tarzan by a lot.
but no, Tarzan took on a Silverback and won.
So
A Silverback versus Beast, Silverback's taking it.
no,
Tarzan versus a Silverback,
I'm sorry, I don't
Tarzan's
agree.
taking it.
Also, fix your fucking green screen before I cut you in real life. There
Is
we
that
go.
better?
Yep, that's a lot better.
I'm just like grabbing this random traffic pole here. I don't know.
It does look funny when you grab it on stream like that. Because your lighting is so good now after we got those lighting boxes. Ugh, stellar. That green screen is invisible.
But then I saw the one guy speed running Zaldin boss fight. He finished the whole fight in like 30 seconds.
Jesus Christ. I
Like,
remember a lot of those bosses being kind of grindy.
hang on. Let me see if I can pull it
I
up.
don't want to watch it right now.
It's 2 minutes.
Exactly, it's two
Start to
whole
finish.
minutes.
I could just tell you, just, scooch forward. Hang on. Zaldin speed. Zaldin speed run. 30. Okay, this one is 37 seconds. 37 seconds.
Okay, hurry up. Come
I guess I should.
on.
I suppose I should send it to you over Messenger.
I'm
here.
a ho-ho-ho. Look at me. I'm in a little Santa dress. I'm not kidding. This is a dress.
He finger banged a machine and then became trans.
I'm not fucking trans. What the hell is wrong with you? Ugh,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I hate you sometimes.
Come on.
Hey, what's up, TY? What the fuck? Dressed like a slutty Santa? You're damn right I am. Next week it's gonna be a red and green thong underneath this. You're not gonna see it, but I'll know.
Just watching him just completely get obliterated.
Dude, that was insanity. That was so stupid.
Oh man.
Do I remember which one you are? Is that what you're asking? It's been a minute. I know that.
I didn't hold the gun
I
to his
can't pull
head.
up your chat history to tell. You've been banned on my channel before. That's always a bad start.
My
It's Kid Tekken. That's who it is.
my aim's not that good, Curb.
Yeah, I kind of figured it might be Kid Tekken. I was like, why did you change from Kid Tekken though? Like fighting games are your kind of your shit. So why would you switch off? What is TY the first supposed to mean? Okay, so spam emails, right? We all hate them. They're kind of annoying. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know when or why it started happening, but I started getting this spam email that's really fucking weird. And one of these days, I think we're gonna cold call one of the phone numbers in it just to see what happens. Like using a Google voice number or something so it can't come back to me in any way. Check
You
this
should
out.
let me. You should let me talk to him.
I'm going to call this the Chronicles of Darlita Stevens. I'm going to go ahead and open my email here on another screen and just read this out loud for you guys, okay? All right. So it says, "Hi, Dave. I don't know why. I'm just assuming because of my email, like the name of my email account. They just kind of use that. Hi, Dave. As you can see, I'm very resourceful and have found your new email address. Okay. I'm sure that you've been following me on Facebook because you told me that you have been following me before I canceled my last account. What? You probably know that I sent Tanya a PM giving my side to our little affair. I don't know if you still want to be with me. Who the fuck are you? Or how all of this is going to play out, but I want to have a one more face to face conversation with you. I have some questions that I need answered, and I also would like to say goodbye in person. As I told you before, I don't care about the opinions that most people have of me, but I do care about yours. I want to assure you that I've never lied to you and never would. I've never misrepresented myself to you. That I am not the liar in this mess, and that I meant it when I said that I love you and always will. I'll be back in Tampa March 7th. By the way, I've been getting these for months. I've been getting these for months. Okay. Came up with you getting ready for any new games? Not currently. I'm not getting ready for new games currently, except for like Final Fantasy VII when that releases. I will be getting back in Tampa March 7th to March 9th. I will be staying at La Quinta Inn by Wyndham Tampa Bay Airport. I have a hair appointment in Insignia. See, this is where I start wondering. I was like, is this a real woman that thinks I'm somebody else? I never respond to these messages, by the way. I have never replied to a single one of these emails. But I get these emails twice a week, and none of them are copy paste. None of them are the same. I'm really intrigued at this point. And here's why this is tame. Some of the emails I've been getting are fucking wild. So, continuing on. Other than that, I'll be at my hotel the whole time except to get lunch or dinner. I'd love to meet with you. If we can't be together for whatever reason, I think it would be best we meet in a public space. I know that you have my cell number, but here it is. An actual cell phone number, by the way. An actual Florida cell phone number. I haven't checked it. I haven't called it. Okay? I know that my gift scares the hell out of most people, you included, but you have nothing to fear. Neither my gift nor I am evil. It's just enabled me to keep myself safe despite the relentless attempts to destroy me. I truly believe that God knew that I'd need it for survival because of how much He has gifted me. He understood human nature long before I did, and He knew that I'd need it. I really
Wait,
hope to
what?
see you, Darlita. Like, right there at the end, that's where I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued at this point. Like, who the fuck is this? Are they a spam? Is this real? Is this person just a mad woman that just thinks I'm somebody else? I want to know more. That one was sent on 1/25/22. That was sent at the start of last year. And like I said, I've got several dozen of these. She's having a manic episode or something. Right? Okay, all right, ready? The second email is really short and weirdly intense in how short it is. You're just sitting back and letting me figure everything out. You're a very smart man, and that is one reason I fell in love with you. I know that I will see you again soon. Until then, smooches. Love, Darlita.
I have questions.
I also have questions, and I'm the one with the emails. Good morning. You know what else I've realized? That not only are gold digger opportunists trying to make a quick buck off of me, but all of the surrogates and their families made money while stealing something priceless from me. Then, several of the cunts that had the audacity to fight dirty to keep me away from my children and that asshole Harry not only supported that cunt Megan in stealing 3 of my children, but he married the bitch. The rage and hatred inside of me is deadly. No joke. Fuck her and fuck him too. I am trying to keep a cap on it, but that cunt is a dead woman. If it wasn't for the fact that he is royalty, I'd put a hit out on him too.
I am confused.
I don't know.
I
I've been getting these for a couple years. I think some of them got auto deleted, or maybe they're like stuck in my spam folder deep down. But I swear to God, I've been getting these for years. This is some crazy lore, bro. For real. I'm gonna read one more before the rest of them get saved for future podcasts because I'm not gonna lie. This is content to me. This is getting milked as long as I can. It sounds like something out of a romance drama. Jesus, right?
a Korean romance drama,
Or just any like Mexican soap in the afternoon on
right?
Telemundo. Like this sounds like that kind of shit. Oh man. Good morning, Mr. Man. I just wanted to say good morning. I've been awake since 2ish, which is my usual time for waking up. I know I will not I know that I will be seeing not too long after I get out of here, especially now that I have told Harry to go fuck himself. Harry is consistent in some of these, by the way. I know that I've been keeping you I know that they have been keeping you away from me because everyone knows that you have your claws in me. I also know that you have been sitting back patiently, watching me figure everything out. I know that I dodged another bullet. I want him to sign over his parental rights. I don't want anything to do with him. Like I told you before, you are a very smart man, Dave, and you know how to get what you want. That's the reason why I fell in love with you. I can't wait to see you again. Until then. Scott, how are you feeling right now?
This is, I want to say this is just like someone that you may have met on accident in some way, shape, or form, and maybe it's just like you would remember them if you actually saw them in person, but you just
Right. But I
I
don't
don't know.
know who the
Maybe
fuck
it's
this is.
what I you know what here's something. I don't know. This is like throwing this way out in the wild here. What if it was someone you were in the Navy with?
I doubt it.
And
I was
now
I was
he's a
submarine.
she.
No, I doubt it. I was submarine fleet. She said she has kids. The kids are biologically hers. This has got to be like a copy pasta she sends to thousands of people trying to find someone lonely. The thing is, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, it could be copy pasta, right? It could be. Except this. I've never gotten 2 of the same email. Generally speaking, if you're spamming somebody with this and they're not responding, you don't necessarily worry about the realities of setting it up twice, right? But a lot of this has been consistent. Harry is really consistent. Tanya is consistent. Like they keep getting brought up from one from email to the next, and real life places, by the way, and things like and a phone number. Like I can't make sense of it being anything but real. It also seems to consistently be in Florida.
I don't know. Screw Harry.
Yeah, I mean, fuck Harry. He sounds like a terrible husband, like realistically. Who knows how crazy this bitch is, but fuck
Hey,
Harry.
since we're on the topic of Florida, we should pull up some Florida
Nope, I'm going
man
to do one
stuff.
more email real quick because this one's particularly
Oh,
long and fun.
come
Hey,
on.
hey there. There's something else I think that you should be aware of. I think that I told you I was diagnosed with CLL, chronic lymphatic leukemia, back in March as a result of being poisoned with Roundup. And everyone knows that Tanya did to me with the whole everyone knows what Tanya did to me with the whole asbestos exposure when I was in Tampa back in 2013. Well, I may be committing suicide by not being with Harry or John, and I'm okay with it. I hate them just that much that I'd rather die than be with either of them. I think the potential of me receiving a lung transplant will be off the table if I don't marry that asshole. Harry is another Chris Capers? Is there some relevance there to like some celebrity I
Hang on.
don't know?
Hang on. I'm gonna look up Chris Capers.
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna keep reading. A weak man who got bad advice that not only took him out of the running but made me hate him. Unlike me, they love selfishly, meaning if they can't have me, no one can. Therefore, we may have had a good 10, maybe 15 years together, and that is if the CLL doesn't turn acute and kill me before then. I think that you should know that I'm going to have Tanya, Joanne, and Anna, the manager to Lennox Place Apartments, who gave Tanya access to my apartment, killed. She said she's gonna put a hit on him. By the way, just in case you guys would like to see this, I'm not kidding. These are emails I'm getting. Everyone involved with my exposure to Roundup is going to die. Also, including Chelsea. I'm going to have her killed in prison. If it wasn't for the fact that Harry is royalty, that is again, I'd have him killed too. You don't just give my children to some bitch completely erasing me and think that I'm going to let that shit slide. I have already made contact with a mafia member, so they know that I'm going to hire them. There are others that I'm going to have killed, and they already know who they are. For everyone who lied on me, I'm going to have 100% sulfuric acid thrown directly in their faces. 12 ounces of. It's so specific.
12 ounces of sulfuric acid. All right, cool.
The mafia knows what the lies are and who said what better than I do. I've had my dinner menu planned since November. I just think that you should be aware of how deep and dangerous this shit is. I want you to fully understand what will be involved if you choose to come back into my life. I know, I know that this is why they have been keeping me first in MCES. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's a mental institute or something. And now in Eagleville. They know that you're planning to pop up at my door, and they know that once you do, it's a wrap. I still hope to see you because I don't want to go through this without you. Love you much, Darlita.
I have few words. I have many questions.
That's why I'm saying that's why this section is called The Chronicles of Darlita Stevens. Because I
want to ask her some questions. I want to ask her how babies are made.
that's how babies are made. I have a phone number here. I'm not gonna do this stream. It'll have to be next week's podcast when we do the next section of Darlita Chronicles of
Jeez.
Darlita. But like, I I'm at a loss. I get these emails all the time, and the thing is, I've been getting these for a while, like I said, and then one day it said some crazy because get her on podcast as a quest. Imagine, dude, that'd be crazy. What if I got the Darlita Stevens from these emails on podcast? Fucking imagine. Yo, that'd be wild as shit.
Man, I don't
suggest it. I'm not trying to connect.
I don't suggest it.
I'm not trying to connect. Maybe when we're famous enough to hire protection first. You guys have been making content off my emails for hell. She might put a hit on me with the fucking mafia. She might spray Roundup in my face.
No, she's gonna. No, what she'll do is she's gonna have a vendetta against me.
Oh shit.
I'm the one taking you away from her
Oh
right now.
Jesus, Scott,
That
are you stealing me, her dearest Dave, from Darlita Stevens?
oh no, I'm in danger. In danger.
I'm in danger.
Oh no. All right.
Oh man,
We got some time for Florida, man.
I don't like the
Oh,
Florida man stuff.
come
It's
on.
just reading an article out loud.
Okay, we got Florida man arrested for trying to buy pot at Burger King drive-through.
If you both die, you know who did. Well, at least you know the name supposedly of who did it. She got the mob ties.
Florida man arrested after hurling sausage at his brother in backyard. Families use Panera saying it caffeinated the lemonade led to Florida man's cardiac arrest.
Oh, Panera's lemonade. That's something I keep meaning to go try, but Courtney doesn't want me to. It sounds super
Uh,
fucking good though. No,
Florida man
what I actually
abandoned
wanted.
child on roadside because he thought the boy might be gay.
Really? I'm telling you, these aren't as funny on a podcast because there's nothing to discuss here. It's just stupidity. Listen, what I really want to talk about is how massive anime culture has gotten. Like, really, though,
Yeah.
how big has anime culture gotten? And like, what really brought it to me was this Street Fighter 6. I mean, it's got some anime-ish elements to it, anyways, right? There's literally a Street Fighter anime. That's a thing. It's actually a pretty okay anime too. But never in my life did I think this crossover would happen. Watch.
Do more TikTok takeover, says Kirby.
We do need to do another TikTok takeover. We'll probably do one next week. We want to do at least one a month. We might even just do my TikToks. Not my like personal TikTok, my list.
Your versus is that
You-
Chun-Li?
You know it's gonna be a Chun-Li skin. You know it's gonna be a your skin on Chun-Li. Never in my life did I ever think this was gonna be a thing. And there's no part of me that's mad about it. Zero part of me that's mad. Like, I'm gonna be able to see your played in tournaments. Where's the baby at, right? Look how cute the background image is. Hold on. Wait. Do your job. It's so good. I think I'm gonna put this on my cell phone. Anyways, I'm just saying though, like, never in my life did I think anime would be such a far-reaching culture that it's become. That they're literally putting Spy Family skins in fucking. It's wild, man. It's really something special. But the other thing that really caught me, I wish I had pictures to show you, but do you know just how much like manga is in a Barnes and Nobles at
Oh
this
yeah,
point?
it completely exploded.
Dude, I remember I remember when I was younger that the weird anime cartoon books in the one shelving spot in the back corner of the Barnes and Nobles that nobody ever went to except the weird smelly people. I remember that. But I don't go shopping super often. But Courtney and I were looking for gifts, and we went to Barnes and Nobles looking for a few specific things. And I walked by the anime section. And you know how they always put like tables of books that are really prominent or that they're trying to move? The amount of mangas on tables, like right there in the middle of the store for people that were normal to see. I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like as a
I
go ahead.
I remember, back in high school, I just remember the one kid that was an absolute Naruto fanatic, and of course everyone was making fun of him. And
Any
now it's just
Naruto
like
ran through the halls.
he did the Naruto run, but he'd
Uh-huh.
do like he knew the various hand combinations for
signs?
different hand signs for different
No.
jutsus. Like no, but for all intents and purposes, he was that cringy. He was the cringy anime kid.
Yeah.
Like, and sure, that doing that sort of thing even now would still be cringy,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
it'd be way more accepted now.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was saying. Is it was crazy going into Barnes and Nobles. When I say Barnes and Nobles is a sizable store in Tri Cities, it's a pretty large store. But when I say that it was, I'm not exaggerating. About a fifth of the store was manga.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less, maybe closer to a sixth, but I believe it was around a fifth of the store was manga. There was at least 7 rows of manga, like front
Yeah,
and back side.
it is a
It was unreal.
much bigger cultural phenomenon now, and
Well,
it's
and it's weird that it's gone from, oh, that's for kids, to people finally realizing that it's like, oh, you shouldn't show a lot of this to kids. A lot of this
yeah
would cause real
because
mental damage to children.
it's a medium that we can't where things that are ordinarily impossible for like live action stuff can actually be done
Right.
well.
Well, and the intensity of emotion and stuff, right? It's something you can't achieve with a human face. It's
Yeah,
just not possible.
you need the kitty cat face for it.
Right, right. It's just not possible. Just all of it is it's so unreal. And now like having a Crunchyroll account is feeling less and less necessary too.
Yeah,
Because Netflix is ripe with anime now. Hulu is
Netflix,
ripe
Hulu.
with anime now.
I
Amazon
think even
Prime,
yep.
Prime
I think
Video is ripe
even
with anime.
Peacock might have some anime.
We don't talk about Peacock. Peacock is just a fucking figment of your imagination.
Peacock is for people that want to watch The Office and Parks and Rec. That's
Yeah,
what Peacock's
kinda.
there for.
But like, I'm blown away by how much easier it is to get a hold of anime and manga content. Because it used to be you kind of had to find that one little niche store that only a handful of fat weebs went into to get a hold of
GameStop,
anything. Yeah,
Hot Topic,
GameStop didn't really have anything either. GameStop
Hot
was
Topic, and
about
Spencer's
games for the
did.
longest time. Spencer's had stuff. Hot Topic always had like memorabilia. You could get memorabilia from anime, but
Now
it wasn't as included as it is now.
now Spencer's is just a sex shop light.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of a bad sex shop too. Like the toys in there are not good, bro. God, I
Like,
remember back in
but
the
if
military.
you need a penis shaped beer funnel, they got you.
That is true. They do have that. But no, I remember back in the military. Is this broken? Oh, it is broken. That sucks. I was gonna pop that back in.
Why'd you break it,
I
David?
mean, a shit guy happens. You know, shit happens. But
You
anyways,
trying to like satisfy your Android fetish?
shut the fuck up. But anyways, no, back in the day when I was back in the military, I remember I was the guy that if people needed crazy shit, they'd ask me to get it. Things they were embarrassed to get themselves cuz I had no fucks to give. I would just do whatever. Like if you paid me a little extra on top to do it, it didn't hurt my feelings. Oh, you want to give me $10 to walk in and buy a fucking 12-inch dildo? I don't give a fuck. So I would be at a public mall. But keep in mind, when we were younger, malls were popular still.
Yep.
Like malls were packed popular. So I was 18 in the military, walked into a mall, went into a Spencer's where this dude and his girlfriend were waiting for me outside to bring them the toy because they were too embarrassed to go to the register with a dildo. And I walked up and stuck that fucking thing on the counter. It was like, hey, here's the money. And they're like,
Just
is this for you? I was like, I don't even have a girlfriend. This isn't for me in any capacity. They're just too fucking embarrassed to buy it for themselves. She started laughing. She says, the amount of people that come in, the employees were like, "Damn, this guy's a freak." I do think some of them didn't believe me. I think they really thought I was about to hit myself with the anal pounder 9000 or some shit. But like, that wasn't me. I was in the Navy,
and,
but my wrist wasn't broken.
and now you got Moist Critical just buying as big of.
Dude, that's so fucking funny. He has like the largest collection of Huges in the world. But seriously though, like I walked out and I was like went to walk up to them and like, dude, don't act like that's ours. Wait till we get outside. And I was just like, seriously? Whatever. I remember walking out, handing them their fucking dildo, and it was like, go have fun. I shot their sex tape too. That was a really fun adventure. Am I a bit of a
Sounds like it.
freak? Am I a bit of a freak? Absolutely. Do I give a fuck? Fuck no. I just have fun. Listen, somebody says I will pay you $50 to videotape my wife and I having sex. You just do it. It's not that big
You
a deal,
you
really.
you get the best angles.
Normal renting activity. Okay. Let me go into this really quickly. I'm just ahead of my time. All right, let me put put it out there. I am simply ahead of my time because they have estimated. What was it? There was some estimation. I shot this sex tape out of nowhere. No build up. What was it though? I saw a statistic the other day. How percentage? Let me just pull it up for you guys. Percentage of women with OF OnlyFriends accounts. WOF. Again, broken finger. Makes it kind of hard to remember where everything is with OF accounts. So if we assume that 800,000 creators are women and apply that to 3.9 billion women, it's damn near is oh my god, it's two. Nah, that can't be right. That can't be right. Hold on. Uh,
Well, yeah. Well, I'm more concerned with the percentage of American women as opposed to like women in its totality, because this is going to be a lot of people in India and China that are never going to have any
all
like
right.
that,
Good night.
that will never have it.
Good night, Curb. I'm just saying though. What percentage of OnlyFans users? How much percentage of people in finance? Of women. I love how because by the way, so if you're on TikTok and you see accountant, like a attractive girl that's like skimpily dressed and she's labeled as an accountant, yeah, that's an OnlyFans girl. That's just like common language for them. Do note all the figures, estimates 2% electric boogaloo. I can't look up images here because that shit's gonna go wrong. Anyways, but I saw some statistic that it's something like 3 or 4% of all American women have OnlyFans accounts.
Which that doesn't surprise me at all.
Which realistically, though, bro, that's crazy, first of all. But second of all, what that really means is, again, I was ahead of my time. I just wasn't afraid to shoot your video for you. It never bothered me. It never bothered me. It's never been a thing that's bothered me. I've never been concerned about it. It just
I don't
somebody
think
wanted to
that
pay me
OnlyFans
$50 to shoot their home sex video.
I
Cool.
don't think that OnlyFans is a good method of sex work. If we're gonna say that sex work is real work, I don't think OnlyFans is a good and healthy method,
Okay, I
for society.
disagree. I think the disillusion is the issue more than the OF. So the thing is, you have to assume that when you retire from OF to get married or whatever, if you can find a man that can accept that part of your life, you have to assume that that man is always or that you're never going to be able to get a job is what I was trying to say. You're going to have to assume that you're always going to have a harder time getting a job, that people are always going to look at you a certain kind of way, that if you're one of these like top 1%ers that has thousands or even millions of people that have viewed or subbed to your channel, that you're going to be recognized if you go places. In order to be successful on OnlyFans, you have to advertise. In order to advertise, you have to have a decent amount of TikTok and Instagram and YouTube following to really build on Twitch. Even like, no matter how you look at it, you have to really advertise yourself. You have to really put your name out there and be like this kind of household name, which means your boss probably knows what you did. Your boss saw the video. Your boss might have bought your video. You might just want to be a housewife by the time you're done. And a lot of the problem is that these very successful OF women are running into a serious issue. From a purely genetic societally normal position, Intrinsically, a woman wants a man that makes more money than her. Less than 1% of men make over 100,000 a year. The successful OnlyFans women, some of the money I've seen from a monthly payout from OF is crazy. Like, I'm not even talking about the amaranths. I'm talking about your middle tier girls that only have a niche like 1,000 people that sub. But if they're subbing 1,000 people at $10 a month, that's $10,000 a month. I don't know what the hell that looks like. I don't know in my lifetime that I'm ever going to know what $10,000 in a month looks like.
I'm getting close to that.
You're pushing for it, but like again, you after taxes and everything, you're not even breaking close. After costs, you're not even breaking close. That's my point, right? I don't know that I'll ever know in my lifetime what it feels like to have 10,000 static cash. We're not talking about the videos they're selling. We're just talking about subscriptions. We're not talking about they are making a loose 120,000 a year before taxes and before supplementals. You add in what you're going to make in video sales, in, let's be honest, dick ratings, because guys are feeble like that and they need to be approved. Like donations, tips, selling, individual like user content and images, messaging. You have to pay some of these girls to even talk to them. Like when you really put it into context, that 120,000 is the baseline for a middle tier OF girl that's had some success. The top tier women are clearing millions a month.
Yep.
There is a reason why these women are finding it harder and harder to get men. It's because they don't necessarily have to have men to make money, but then they're also missing out on something really important: leadership. How can you respect, cherish, and love a guy that you can't be a proper leader? And like, don't get me wrong, everyone's got their own thing. Like, I'm not saying everyone's exactly the same, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't pan out mentally well. The Amaranth situation with her ex-husband now, because that's what happened. It's her ex now. The Amaranth situation is a really good point of view where he needed to be in charge. So he basically ran her accounts. He told her what she was going to do. He made her submit as an OF model to his whims because that's all he could provide. Because there was no way he was ever going to be in charge of her because Amaranth's top of the damn world as far as that money goes. She's buying shit so that she doesn't even have to bother anymore. She's buying like gas stations and shit. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. People are like,
And
why are we all so lonely? Well, because the best looking women are also the ones that are just selling their bodies. And why are they lonely? Well, because nobody wants to date them because they're selling their bodies, and you're never going to be able to keep up with them. Men need activity. Men need to work. Men need to be able to take charge of a situation. Men don't know how to do any of that anymore because the world has basically told them, women can do it all too. And that's fair. But is it a really healthy mindset? Like between you and I, chat, and of course Skittles, do you feel like that's a healthy mindset? Or do you prefer when it's like the traditional feeling? And Sky, of course, you're always welcome to chime
yeah.
in. Because, like, I don't know, to me, it's
Oh yeah.
just.
Look, the traditionals worked for millennia. Don't fix what isn't broken.
I don't know. I just think it's crazy. As somebody that's managed to be married, like, I have said these words outright to several people. If I were to ever get divorced, I don't know if I would want to get married again. And it's not because it's like, oh, fuck all women. No, I don't want to have to fight. I don't want to have to compete. It sounds terrible. It sounds like a bad fucking time. Because I have seen the dating market and it doesn't look enjoyable to be in. Weird note to end the stream
I
on.
I don't want to be in it.
Yeah, no shit. You've been trying to get married for a fucking ever. But to be
I know.
honest, you're doing better because you're not. You can focus on your work. You don't have to worry about ulterior
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yep.
Guys, I know it's a weird note to end the stream on, but we've been going for a good solid 2 hours now. Guys, I know time is money. I appreciate that you spent some of yours with me. We will, of course, be back next week with more Chronicles of Darlita Stevens. Maybe we'll set up a Google Voice number and call. And I don't know. I feel like if I call, the emails die too, right? And I don't want to fucking take that from us because that shit's cool.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's
That's what I want
literally
for
the
Christmas,
gift that
David.
keeps on giving. You want more Darlita? That's what you want for Christmas?
That's what I want for, and a good pair of shoes.
And a good pair of shoes? I could definitely think about the good pair of shoes. You might get a good pair of shoes. We'll see. We'll see if I can get my fucking L&I pay. Guys, once again, I know time is money. I appreciate that you spent years with us on this fine, fine evening. Ho, ho, ho to you all, and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys find everything you want under the tree. Next week, if you guys are interested in joining the podcast, make sure you message me on Discord. I think it might actually be our dear friend Pretentious Kraken next week. We will see. Once again, thank you. I appreciate you guys all. It was nice having a lot of people here visiting with us this evening. And we'll check you next time.